Say it again. Say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's right, Merry Steps to all of you. Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. Ladies and gentlemen, as we inch towards 2019, it looks like the deep state is eating their own, both politically and through the media. And I am in possession of what very well may be a deep state confession.
Have you been a good girl?
No.
No. Are you on the nice list?
No.
Busted! All right, it's just a kid talking with their mouth open. But President Trump was talking to kids for Christmas. That's right. And one lucky kid got to speak to POTUS, and they made a little video about it. I'm sure you probably already have seen it. I'm going to show you this from Fox News so that you can see both sides of this Christmas call. Check it out.
What are you going to do for Christmas?
Probably put out some cookies, and then we're hanging out with our friends, so that's pretty much all.
Oh, that's really good. You just have a good time. You still a believer in Santa?
Yes, sir.
Because they're 7-inch Marginal, right?
Yes, sir.
You just enjoy yourself. Happy Christmas. And you just take care of yourself and say hello to your family, okay? Say hello to everybody.
Okay, so there you go. POTUS calling out. I believe the kid's name is Coleman. And this was an interesting little call, and it kind of stuck out in my mind. Now, the media was raking President Trump over the coals regarding this call, saying that the president was destroying this poor kid's image of Santa, I'm not so sure that it was that extreme. You know, the president cannot win. Had he not made any calls, he would have also gotten the same treatment either way, right? So, but I did think that it was an interesting choice of words, saying at 7, it's marginal in regards to her belief with Santa Claus. Now, some of you on Twitter were saying, Patrick, it's normal for adults to talk to their kids like adults. And I understand all of that. My parents did the same with me. I'm glad they did. I just thought it was an interesting choice of words, regardless of whether he was talking to a child or not. But talking to a child in specifically at 7, it's marginal. It just seemed like a very strange kind of choice of terms. Maybe nothing at all, but it got me thinking out loud about this. And I posted this a couple days ago on Christmas Day. I'm just thinking out loud. This is a link to this right here off of the simpledollar.com. It's an article written by Trent Ham entitled Average Stock Market Return, Where Does 7% Come From? Whenever I talk about investing in stocks, I usually suggest that you can earn a 7% annual return on average. That percentage is based on a few assumptions. Okay, I don't want to go way into this too much, but it talks a little bit about the stock market and a particular idea that this Trent got from Warren Buffett. And let me take you there. This is from an article that he had read regarding Warren Buffett, saying, where does that 7% number come from? My primary source for that number comes from Warren Buffett, who claims point blank that you should expect a 6 to 7% annual return in the stock market over the long term. In that article, Buffett describes the analysis that led him to that kind of conclusion. The economy, as measured by gross domestic product, can be expected to grow at an annual rate of about 3% over the long term, and inflation of 2% would push nominal GDP growth to 5%, Buffett said. Stocks will probably rise at about that rate, and dividend payments will boost total returns to a 6% to 7%, he said. So this was just something that, I had no idea if it was related or not, but it had reminded me of this article from back in 2016 by this Trent Ham. And evidently, I don't think I was the only one who was thinking it, because then we see this here too from David Rothschild's Twitter. And as you can see, the header on his Twitter says, if a poll's margin of error is plus or minus 3 points, think 7. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong about the economy. Maybe they're talking about polls. Maybe they are talking about the economy. Not really sure. But David Rothschild sure wanted to chime in and spout off. He did, tweeting this the other day. Just shut the up. Seriously, every time President Trump talks about the Fed, the market tumbles. He needs the market to stabilize to save what is left of his presidency. Is he so stupid he cannot even manage just shutting up and doing nothing? And of course, the market did take a tumble, but then we also saw this thanks to an Anon who made this little graphic here. Biggest single day gain ever. Now, David also posted this on the 26th. On election night 2016, markets guessed wrong on who was going to win. So did many others, but they also guessed wrong on how they would react to Trump win. Markets were oddly unprepared for a non-negligible and massive event. Markets suck at incorporating political impact. Okay, well, this all could very well be just a simple phone call, and it's a bunch of nothing that the media blew out of proportion. But it seemed to me like not only the news media, but lots of Hollywood celebrities also freaked out. And why is David so worked up about this? Why did David use this 2016 article in regards to polling and its relation to elections and the stock market from 2016? Why would you use that as your Twitter header? Is this a veiled threat from Trump to the Fed? Is this a threatening response coming back from the Rothschild family? Not really sure. You can tell me. It's like I said, I just found it interesting, and this is all I found so far on it. Now, this call was made to, like I said, a girl named Coleman, which got me thinking about Elizabeth Coleman, who was Inspector General of the Federal Reserve. That's right, she was appointed in 2007, and she was the one that had to answer some questions during the 2009 hearing regarding missing trillions of dollars.
What have you done to investigate the off-balance sheet transactions conducted by the Federal Reserve, which, according to Bloomberg, now total $9 trillion in the last 8 months?
I'll have to look specifically at that Bloomberg article. I'm not, I don't know if I have actually seen that particular one.
Always lying to me too much, lying so much.
Okay, well, like I said, just a working theory so far, but indeed the deep state knuckleheads are panicking in D.C. Look at these tweets here. First, we saw this from Chuck Schumer down below. It's Christmas Eve, and President Donald Trump is plunging the country into chaos. The stock market is tanking, and the president is waging a personal war on the Federal Reserve after he just fired the Secretary of Defense. And Nancy Pelosi, not to be outdone, tweets, it's Christmas Eve, and Donald Trump is plunging the country into chaos. The stock market is tanking. The president is waging a personal war on the Federal Reserve after he just fired the Secretary of Defense. Now, for this next story, I want to say thanks to Mil Spec Ops Monkey, who does a great job of watching the skies. We've been talking about this for the last week, and I find this very curious. I wanted to share this with you. He posted on the 19th of December, Gitmo 2.0 sitrep. Shout out to Owl Major IN for the catch. We have a prisoner that was picked up by a few operators in St. Martin, brought to FFL, being Fort Lauderdale, and headed to Gitmo today. As we say in the business, don't run, you'll just die tired. And here you can see the flight path. This one here is from St. Martin to Fort Lauderdale. And then we've got what looks to be a straight beeline back to Guantanamo Bay. And here we have the ID N448SC. And here appears to be this plane here, Raytheon, 2005 Raytheon Aircraft Company 400A. Owner being Jag Aviation out of Florida. Okay, so what's going on? What's going on with these flights? Now, we also got this on the 20th of December. Gitmo's 2.0 sitrep, another out-of-sequence flight inbound today. This one is a charter coming out of Miami. Typically, we see these out of Fort Lauderdale, and a different charter company taking in general contractors. We will monitor to see if it becomes a new norm. And this one seems to have a slightly different path going over the Bahamas there. And then we get this, which is really curious, on the 23rd. Earlier this week, we saw a small team of operators bring someone out of St. Martin to Gitmo. That was the flight we were just talking about back here. On Thursday, we had this bird inbound to St. Martin a few days later. Cleanup crew, nothing in the usual flight logs. And indeed, some of these were missing from the flight logs. Here it is, St. Martin to Fort Lauderdale. And there's the craft again. We also see this craft here. Now, this is very curious. N90404. I know, right? Let me take you even further back to the 3rd of December, where Monkey posted this. Notice anything missing from the flight log? Why clean the log? Who might we be trying to protect? Dark to light. The truth is coming out and you can't stop it. And it was in regards to this flight right here, a Gulfstream Aerospace Gulfstream 5 twin jet. And this, I believe, is the call sign. I don't know about the N number. SPAR 32. Interesting call sign, right? And this was from, looks like Honduras to Guantanamo Bay. And there it is right there. And here was the flight log, and it's not on there. And here was the picture associated with it. Now, this looks to be a Gulfstream 5. Same picture that we saw over here. But this one is labeled as a Cessna 172S. That's not a Gulfstream 5 right there. It's not the same. Well, that got me thinking about this owner right here, Liberty University from Lynchburg, Virginia, U.S. Why would Liberty University own a government plane? It's not a Cessna. That's definitely not a Cessna right there. What's up with that? Now, let me take you even further back to October 18th, 2018 from Newsweek. Liberty University plane crash. Small plane crashes at Lynchburg Airport, Virginia. A small plane crashed at Lynchburg Regional Airport in Virginia on Thursday. The plane was identified as property of Liberty University, a Christian college in Lynchburg. The plane was from Liberty University School of Aeronautics, according to Liberty News and Advance. The Cessna 172 Skyhawk may have lost power, causing it to crash off the runway Thursday morning, WFXR-TV reported. A Liberty University spokesperson told the station the plane lost power while it was taking off, and that the pilot was able to land it, but went off the side of the runway. Okay, and this is about all we heard of this story because supposedly no one was even injured. As a matter of fact, I went through a few different articles, never saw any sort of naming of the pilot or anything like that. So could it be that some of these planes going back and forth between Florida and Cuba could be government planes? And this is a message from the deep state that they are aware of which planes they are. They're trying to shoot them down, trying to, whether they're using technology to bring them down, radio technology. It's hard to say, but we know that we saw some of these pictures just weren't correct. That's not correct. That's not a Cessna 172S, but a Cessna 172S did crash in October, and it was owned by Liberty University. This was shortly after the time that Julian Assange was asked to come testify for the Senate. It was about a week later, almost exactly a week later, that this crash happened. So this is really interesting stuff. And could these mixed up pictures be a sign that the deep state knows exactly which planes they are looking for instead? Not really sure, but Monkey and I will keep you posted. Thanks to Military Spec Ops Monkey, who always does great work. And if we get some more information regarding this, we will definitely let you know. Now, sticking with Monkey, he tweeted this earlier. If this is accurate and based in the Open ADSB aircraft tracker going black in the wee hours of the morning yesterday, which is when takedowns typically occur, history could be taking shape as we speak. Read the previous Q drops I have attached for God and country. And he's referring to this from Breaking News Live. Breaking: Air Force One has been spotted over parts of Europe despite President Trump not having any scheduled trips. Well, I think we know now what that ended up being. And here's one of the sightings here from Civ Mill Air on Twitter. Reported over the UK earlier today. Call sign and unknown hex confirmed on my own receiver logs. RCH 358 VC25 US Air Force over Yorkshire, taken from Chapeltown, South York's Boxing Day 2018. And there we have what looks to be Air Force One. Well, it indeed seemed to be, as they ended up touching down at Al Assad base in Iraq to visit with some of the troops for Christmas in a war zone, and they found some time to stop back in Germany at Ramstein Air Base. So a very, very cool surprise. President and Melania Trump dropping in on some of the troops here, and here's a picture of them. There you go, getting on for Christmas. There's a nice picture right there. An Anon on 8chan made the picture a little bit better. Oh, there you go. There, that's what we want to see right here. So the president and Melania making a secret ninja little visit for the holidays to our troops. And of course, that got our celebrities all upset. After all, they had a nice fat red carpet of hate all rolled out for them. Here's Montel Williams on Christmas Day. Instead of visiting the troops, Donald Trump has crashed the stock market, gone to war with Jim Mattis, delivered a nice Christmas gift to Vlad, I guess that's meaning Syria, and presided over an immigration policy that has killed 2 kids in a week. And not to be outdone, Alyssa Milano's got to jump in. Trump becomes first president since 2002 not to visit troops at Christmas time. I could watch her swing and miss all day. I'll be honest with you, I think there's something good for my soul about that. All right, I want to take you over to this graphic. Thanks to the Anon who made this. I found this on 8chan. This is part of the Q clock that we've talked about here. And it doesn't show the whole clock here, but it shows a couple corresponding dates here on the lower right. You see 12/26 being yesterday's date, excuse me. And then we have it going down here corresponding to November 1st. And of course, on the 26th, we see Air Force One aircraft spotted over Europe heading east. Now, if you go down to the corresponding date, the 1st of November, this takes you to the post from the 1st of November 2017, post 35. POTUS will be well insulated, protected on Air Force One and abroad, specific locations classified. While these operations are conducted due to the nature of the entrenchment, it's time to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. Okay, so the changing of call signs and the secret visit on Christmas, to be honest with you, does not seem that strange to me. Other presidents have done similar things like it, but Q has alluded to the fact that if any operations are indeed going down, then the president will likely be secured on Air Force One. So is that the case? We're not really sure, so I decided to check up on some of our favorite deep state knuckleheads, and here we have Hillary Clinton. This was posted on Christmas Day, December 25th. Merry Christmas to everyone celebrating today. And there's the family right there. Oh my goodness, that looks like back in the 90s right there. What's going on? This isn't you don't have a current picture? What's going on? Why is Chelsea, you can't even see your face. What's going on with this crew? Where's your current picture? Well, surely Barack Obama will have tweeted something festive. Yeah, December 25th, there you go. Enjoy the holiday season with the ones you love. Michelle and I wish you a very Merry Christmas. And there they are. There's the couple smooching under the... Wait a minute. This looks like a older pic, like maybe back when you guys were in the Oval Office. What's going on there? And where are your kids? Where's the family photo? Where's the updated Christmas family photo? Surely John Brennan's got one. Yeah? Nope. John Brennan hasn't posted since the 22nd when he retweeted this New York Times article. Very interesting. Okay, well, maybe James, nobody's homie Comey, he's got something festive to say. Nope. Last post was December 23rd. FBI families will spend Christmas without a paycheck. This president promised Mexico would pay for the wall, but innocent people are now paying the price for another lie. Our thoughts are with hard-working public servants and their family. Well, that's festive, James Comey. Thanks for that. Well, I guess they're not feeling very festive. Okay, well, maybe they're all on vacation. Hope they went someplace warm. All right, well, look, I want to leave you with this thread here from Montana on Twitter at Montana_is_mine. I think they've changed it since then. But this is a very interesting thread. Now, I'm not really sure what the validity is here, but I have to say that the information was very compelling, and I felt the need to share it with you. You guys can decide for yourselves what you think about it. But it did give some light to a few different topics and definitely buttressed my opinion on others too. So without any further ado, let me start with this. Okay, secrets contained in the second server at Benghazi with nuke stuff. Recovered by the Benghazi team. Wasn't supposed to happen. One tech guy got a look at it. Debriefed and confiscated. Here it comes in 6 tweets. Take a deep breath, 1 of 6. And you're going to see here, we have 6 long, basically screenshots of these tweets. And I'm going to share these with you. FBI official very close to me confirms everyone's worst suspicions. The Hillary Clinton email server was merely a distraction from the Clinton Foundation, and most of Washington, D.C. is up to their necks in what could be the biggest scandal of all times. This inside info comes from someone who was a high-level FBI analyst whose job was to look at the records with his notes added. The smoking gun is about to arrive, and there are a lot of people involved. To save everyone time, what follows here are the choice bits. Looks like Trump and Putin hold some of the cards. This could be the most interesting election ever. Now, keep in mind, this was from a while back, right? From November 2016, there is intense pressure within the FBI for us not to indict Hillary. I am sending this from a position of near anonymity and enough plausible deniability to evade prosecution, as we have all been given gag orders. There is enough for Hillary and the entire government to be brought down. People do not realize how enormous this whole situation actually is. Whether she will be indicted or not depends on how much info about others involved gets out. And there are a lot of people involved. The real point of interest is the Clinton Foundation, not the email server. We received the server from Benghazi. Then from the server, we found data on the Clinton Foundation. Then we realized the situation is much worse than previously thought. Super classified materials on the Clinton email server. Hillary had special access programs on her server, which if made public would literally cause an uprising and possibly foreign declarations of war. A special access program is an intelligence program classified above top secret. These programs are supposed to be held on closed servers at secret locations. The only way to get one is if you are specifically read onto a program, have a need to know, then you must physically go to the location and pass through several layers of security to even look at the program. A good example in non-classified terms would be the locations and operations of our intelligence operatives around the globe, or our missile silo locations. A bigger problem than Hillary. Killing Hillary would not just cause this problem to go away. The problem is with the Clinton Foundation, as I mentioned, which you should just imagine as a massive spider web of connections and money laundering implicating hundreds of high-level people. Though I do not have a high opinion of Hillary, she is just a piece, albeit a big piece, of this massive storm. Legal is asking preliminary questions about whether or not she has been coached. She has. And setting up the general line of questioning. I am a high-level analyst, though, so my job is only to look at her records. You have three choices. A, turn over all the information to the Department of Justice. Make public a recommendation. The truth comes out, the entire world realizes how much the U.S. is meddling in foreign affairs, and we go to war. The civilian population realizes how much foreign money influences our government, and a civil war begins. I'm assuming this is B here. Cherry pick the data to implicate the people already in the eye of public opinion, so the chips fall on the heads of a select few and the whole system does not crash. And if you kind of see what's going on right now, that sort of seems to be the way it's kind of going down, right? Then we have C. Do nothing and watch the unstable political climate to gauge how you will respond. I am confident if Trump wins, Hillary will be going to jail, and that is what they won't allow that to happen at any cost. The problem is the entire government. Remember, this was before they knew that Trump was going to win. FBI Director Comey will likely resign in any case. FBI is being very quiet for a reason. Most of us want to keep our jobs. Snowden has nothing to do with any of this. Obama and Hillary do hate each other. Hillary hates black people and Obama dislikes recklessness. The problem is with the entire government. Hillary is just one component of that government. Hillary sold safe access programs to overseas donors. All I can tell you about the safe access programs is Hillary had them, and she did not have proper authority to have any of them. They were leaked to her by someone, and she did sell them to overseas donors. Possessing them alone makes her guilty of treason. Obama is loosely tied to the Clinton Foundation, but much more tied in with the same people who donate to the Clinton Foundation. Russian borders, Ukraine, everywhere NATO is. The South China Sea, the Philippines, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Africa. George Soros is at the heart of all this. If it comes down to it, I would fight, but most of us are of the opinion that Hillary will not be president, and having Trump in office makes our job that much easier. But right now, we have to carefully wade through the mud. As I stated before, Bill Clinton likely wanted Loretta Lynch to focus on the email server and shy away from prosecuting the foundation. So was that part of their topic that they were talking about on the tarmac? Needless to say, if anyone has any doubts about the validity of the above info, it stands to reason that the originator has to conceal his identity. Anyone present at the FBI hearings was sworn to secrecy, and leaking any info would at least cost him his job and most likely add some jail time to boot. Worst case scenario, someone probably would put a contract out on him. Most of us know, at least the ones who have paid any attention to politics know that in the past, many who have crossed the Clintons met an unexplainable early demise. Ron Brown and Vince Foster were no exceptions. The Department of Justice is most likely looking to save itself. Find everyone involved in the Clinton Foundation, from its donors to its board of directors, and imagine they are all implicated. The entire federal government is involved. My opinion is the entire government is guilty of treason. which is why Hillary's death would not seize the investigation or prevent further scandals. Many people are involved. There already is evidence enough to indict with the most severe prosecution. FBI Director Comey has been trying to stall because he does not want to face the Clinton machine as well as the rest of Washington, D.C. But this case would explode into a million other cases if fully brought to light, and then we would be one agency competing against the entire government and a horde of other interests. It is a very tense and uncomfortable position. What Attorney General Loretta Lynch has said is she would have accepted whatever they do and make her determination as she will. Nothing about her responsibilities has changed. She is simply trying to keep her hide intact. Foreign powers have some of the documents. Russia will probably leak all info they have. Foreign powers are in possession of some of the documents we have analyzed because they were hacked from the Clinton server. The leaks will have to be made in a non-transparent fashion. If we recommend, we literally hand over documentation implying the entire government is involved in treason at the highest levels and everyone is about to duck and cover, as well as some sensitive details of special access programs which would obliterate national security. I am not sure, but some of my war strategy buddies are estimating a high probability that Russia will leak all of the info they have to the world, since Clinton wants to go to war with them and they have no desire to be in conflict with the U.S. If we do not recommend, it will look like a cover-up and Trump will use the perception to bolster his message. I did work in PSYOPs once and Trump's use of confirmation bias is legendary. If Trump wins, Hillary goes to jail. Everything is corrupt. The entire government is corrupt. No one is clean. We have our hands tied. My message to you and everyone on this board is do not get distracted by the Clintons' emails. Focus on the foundation. All of the nightmarish truth is there. The emails will pale in comparison. A multitude of scandals. Saudi Arabia visits and donates to the Clinton Foundation. Russian uranium fiasco. Hillary in the Israel lobby. The Council on Foreign Relations, AIPAC. The list is endless. Also, there is the standing issue of the Davy Crockett's and the fact that Obama approved the transfer of several of them to Syrian rebels, and we're talking about rockets. We now know they have fallen into the hands of the enemies. That's right, Obama gave nukes to the enemy, not only the United States, but Russia as well. There are three choices that could crash everything. I will put it to you this way. So between what was on the servers, the Davy Crockett's, the lifted restrictions, the $150 billion, there is enough evidence to convict the Obamas and the Clintons and many more members of the government of high treason. Trump was given some of this data 2 years ago. He is known all along. Trump's conversation with Obama on November 10th was about this exact subject. This is high treason. Nuclear information sold to our enemies, punishable by death. That is why all Democrats, all Republicans, and all media was against Trump. They all know what happens now. When Hillary got the news that she lost Pennsylvania, she had a major seizure, which is why she couldn't address the crowd Tuesday night. Now they are seeking the 2020 candidate who will be pushed with a $3 billion fund to place him or her in the White House. Soros, Clintons, Obamas, and a huge list of people are going down. They will try to push back the trials and try to get a Democrat in 2024 so they can all be pardoned. Stay informed. Do not believe what you hear on TV. They are all involved. We are one. With truth we can unite. With lies we are divided. Ultimately, Hillary sold weapons and coordinates of the Chinook chopper carrying the 12 SEALs that killed bin Laden, along with the rocket that killed them, to the bin Laden family. She used Stevens to arrange the transfer of funds, which was $1.2 billion to the Clinton Foundation in Swiss accounts. In the deal was nuclear information from classified files from the 70s. She had Stevens in the Pentagon getting a server to take with him to Benghazi. There was a backup server. That was the one in her closet. She then allowed the bin Ladens to amass the people to raid Stevens' compound. Stevens had no idea what he brokered and had no idea that server contained top secret nuclear files. The plan was going great until the SEALs and CIA guys from the other compound went over to assist. She did not know they were going to assist and were ordered to stand down. The plan was to kill Stevens and his guys and in the process allow the bin Laden family to have nuclear secrets to one day avenge their son. The plan went south, and when those guys from the other compound refused to stand down, they get to the compound in time to rescue a few guys, and what else? They ended up with the server. Once word got back to the White House that Stevens' guys were rescued, Hillary ordered a complete stand down to the rescue mission and then told the commander of the invading force to attack the other compound. By that time, she wanted everyone dead and the enemy to have that server. During the attack on Compound 2, a tech guy got into the server. They knew something was very odd. What did they find? Top secret nuclear files. They immediately break standard protocol and transfer the files to a top secret server in case they are overrun. By this time, Hillary has already fabricated the story that a pastor in California made a YouTube video that caused a mob to attack. A total lie. She then, to fulfill her end of the deal, starts emailing the files to random staff members on accident while allowing the bin Laden family to intercept the data while it was in motion. At this point, some of her staff planned to defect. It was these people who were ultimately leaking the DNC emails to WikiLeaks. She was told the Benghazi server was destroyed, and she believed it. At least she hoped it was true. Little did she know that it was at that time our own intel community began to hack her personal emails as well while trying to give them to Julian Assange. The day before the election, they were going to drop this bomb to destroy her, but by that time they knew Trump was going to win. Here is even more crazy information. Lists of senators who knew about it. There was a total of $1.7 trillion given in grants to spread the wealth to try and sweep things under the rug. Things were getting very desperate for many. The money was granted by Obama to Mideast nations, then given back to our politicians through a series of Swiss entities. The Clintons have hundreds of these entities alone. The money was granted by Obama to Mideast nations, then given back to our politicians through a series of Swiss entities. So I'm not sure why they wrote that again. John McCain is at the top of the list of the recipients. He and other Republicans just trace those who campaigned against Trump, and it will all lead to those who were guilty. And it gets even crazier. Chris Stevens had a few more gifts than he did not know anything about. These gifts were 7 Davy Crockett M388 nuclear mortars. Obama had the weapons declassified and transferred to the Syrians through a group in Benghazi. Ultimately, in September, one of these weapons were used and killed nearly 20 Russian troops in Syria. That's right, American nukes killing Russian troops. Remember, Putin ordered 40 million Russian citizens to perform a nuclear evacuation. That was his response to send a message to Hillary what he was preparing for if she got in. Now we know that the remaining 6 Davy Crockett's are in the hands of Iran. We also know that Obama had lifted the nuclear restrictions on Iran. We also know that Obama gave Iran $150 billion. Okay, there you go. Big thanks to Montana for a very compelling thread. You can take it or leave it, do with it what you want to do. But I found it interesting and it filled in a couple blanks for me at least. But it definitely reinforces my opinion that this FISA declass was never going to come in one big fell swoop. It's always going to be this threat of what's going to come next that's going to get the deep state running. That seems to be how it's been. It seems to me like little bits have been coming out, whether it's texts, emails, conversations, whatever it might be. It's all coming out bit by bit and forcing the deep state to really do all the reacting rather than dumping it all and giving them only one decision to make. So in regards to these Davy Crockett's, it made me wonder if it had anything to do with this missile depot that was blown up in Syria. It would have been back in late April, I believe I reported it, and it was such a big explosion that it actually registered on the Richter scale, and people were saying that it almost felt like an earthquake. Could these have been our Davy Crockett's? Not really sure, but once again, thanks to Montana for that thread. That's all I got for you today, kids. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who already do that. If you are new to my channel, welcome to you. Please keep in mind that from time to time you will be unclicked, notified, and unsubscribed. That's how social media works for us conservatives these days. And all my links are down below to my Gab, my BitChute, Brighteon.com is down there. My email is down below. I'm over here on Twitter a lot at IPOT1776. That's at IPOT1776. I'm over here when I'm not making videos, so please follow me here on Twitter if you're over here. That's IPOT1776. Like I said, my email is down below, and if you'd like to support the channel, my Patreon link is down below also. All right, kids, this is Sir Patrick Mack, and until next time, stay up.